6. The Caveman. June 24th to 25th, 2018. Sangwut and the other local rescuers who have gathered at Tham Luang agree that they need to call in someone who knows the cave better than anyone else. Vern Unsworth is a British caver who moved to Masai 7 years ago to be with his partner, Waranantik Ratrawipakun. Like many visitors to northern Thailand, Vern fell in love with the place, the beautiful mountains, the kind-hearted people, and best of all, the cave. Vern began caving as a teenager in the hills around his home in England, and 40 years later, he is still obsessed with caves. Like most explorers, cavers are motivated by the thrill of the unknown. But unlike a mountain climber who can look up and see the peak that they will attempt to climb, cavers have no idea what awaits them beyond the beam of their flashlight. It may be a tight squeeze, or it may be a gaping chamber dripping with stalactites, as beautiful and awe-inspiring as any cathedral built by humans. The experience of setting foot in a passage that has never been reached by any other human is indescribable. Some cavers call this experience scooping booty, as though they are pirates digging their hands through trunks full of treasure. Beyond the big entrance chambers that attract tourists, Tham Luang still offers plenty of treasure to scoop. Vern has a passion for mapping the cave's twisting routes and finding out where passages join up with other tunnels. It's like putting together a giant underground puzzle. Earlier in the year, he and his good friend Rob Harper completed an updated survey, or map, of the cave's farthest extensions. Vern has led many Thai friends into Tham Luang, guiding them as far as they are willing to venture. Masai is a pretty small place where everyone knows everyone else, so even people who have never been to Tham Luang before know Vern as the Caveman. It's no surprise that the rescue team calls him that very night. In a lucky coincidence, Vern is already packed and ready to go. He had planned to visit Tham Luang the same day the boys went missing, but he ended up getting delayed. As he makes the drive to the park entrance, he has the troubling thought that if he had gone ahead with his original plan, he might have been trapped inside the cave himself. The boys have had an extraordinary twist of bad luck. Vern pulls up to the cave around 6:30 a.m., on the day after the boys were trapped. He makes the hike down to the Samyak Junction and is surprised to see so much water there. Water is now pouring out of Monk Series into the chamber. Vern knows, of course, that Tham Luang floods. Every year, water fills the system, reaching all the way out to Chamber 1. But last year, in 2017, the floodwaters didn't start coming until July 15th. This is 3 weeks too early. Rescue workers ask Vern if he thinks the team could have gone right, up into Monk Series. Vern says it's highly unlikely. That passage is, in his words, not nice, which is putting it mildly. Monk Series is hundreds of yards of cramped, muddy crawling through passages so tight and sharp they leave you scraped and bruised. Even a small man like Vern has long scars along his back from trying to squish his body into those passages. For a team of boys out for a fun adventure, that would not be the way to go. It's much more likely that they went left. Based on the elevations that he has surveyed, Vern guesses that they could be sheltering on higher ground about a third of a mile, half a kilometer past Samyak. The bowl-shaped room of Samyak is lower than other parts of the cave, so while the junction is filled with water, there are still chambers that are high enough to provide a dry harbor for the team. Cell phones are useless inside the cave, so in order to report any information to the rescue team outside, Vern, who is 63, has to hike out and give it to them himself. This day, he makes the round-trip journey to the water-filled junction and back 5 separate times, a total distance of about 12 miles or 20 kilometers. Workers carry sandbags inside to try to stop the flow coming in from Monk Series, but so much water is rushing in that the sandbags do nothing. It's clear that in order to reach the children, they need people who can dive through the flooded passage. Local press has arrived to report on the growing story. These kids are athletes, the deputy governor assures reporters. They are alert and always active. They will try to survive by continuing to move. The Wild Boars head coach and Coach Egg supervisor, Noparat Kantawong, has been waiting anxiously with the boys' families outside the cave. I believe up until this very moment that my team members and my assistant coach still have some light left. They will not abandon each other, says Coach Noparat. The boys' families are emotionally drained. It's now Monday morning, and they haven't left Tham Luang since arriving Saturday evening. I haven't slept, says Mak's mom, who keeps fainting from the stress. My son is a strong boy, she insists. I still have hope. Relatives and family friends hold vigil outside the cave. They murmur prayer after prayer in front of a shrine adorned with flowers and images of the Buddha. Hope finally arrives in the wee hours of Monday morning, as a team of 20 Royal Thai Navy SEALs land at the Chiang Rai airport with diving gear in tow. The SEALs are the country's elite special operations unit. Their training is modeled on the United States Navy SEAL program. SEAL is an acronym for Sea, Air, and Land, and these teams are often deployed in highly dangerous, highly secretive operations, such as capturing pirates along the coast, gathering intelligence along the border, and stopping terrorist attacks. They also conduct underwater bomb disposal and mine defusing, which explains why they are some of the most highly trained open water divers in the country. The SEALs are such experienced divers that many of them start a second career as scuba diving instructors after they retire. The SEALs commander, Rear Admiral Apagon Yu Gao, accompanies his unit to Tam Luang. He is respected by his troops for being an even-tempered leader who rarely shouts. He has a reputation for keeping his word and for calm persistence in the face of adversity, which is exactly what this mission will require. Rear Admiral Apagon agrees that there is no reason to fear the worst about the wild boars. I believe they're all still alive, but they might be exhausted, he tells reporters. We should get good news today. Seeing the SEALs, strong and fit, in their dive gear and wetsuits, gives the families hope. They look like superheroes, here to save the day. Surely these men will be able to find their children. But what no one outside Tam Luang understands is just how treacherous the water conditions inside the cave actually are.